So, Anand, based on your experience of working with global companies, what do you see as sort of their strategies for digital and on their digital investments?
What we've seen, Vijay, over the years is that strategies are evolving. They've been sporadic over the last few years. In fact, I like to say they have been non-linear, meaning that the adoption has not been linear across the enterprise, but over the last 3 years, enterprises have now started to step back and look and see where they're going with digital adoption and what's really the enablement and drive for them. There are two key drivers as we see it. One is better customer engagement, and the customer meaning it could be their customers, consumers, partners, or internal users. And better experience delivery to the customers as one driver. And the second is operational efficiencies. And when we look across verticals, there are different verticals that are adopting either one of these as their drivers faster, or as a key driver versus the secondary driver in the adoption of digital transformation.
So, do you think companies can do both of these, or do you think they need to prioritize one over the other?
It's a great question. We've actually seen that companies have attempted to do both of these without defining yet what's their priority. But some companies, the priority is just defined by the vertical they play in. If you look at retail, just as the easiest example, because it's such a consumer-touching industry or a customer-touching industry where customer interface and customer interaction almost defines the business model, consumer experience and customer experience is becoming the primary driver for digital transformation. Versus you look at manufacturing on the other end of the spectrum, or utility as an industry, or oil and gas as an industry, anything that is large B2B, consumer experience and customer experience may not be the primary driver, versus operational efficiencies might be a primary driver. But both of these are being taken into consideration. One as a primary, one as a secondary is what we're seeing in the industries. And there are some that are really on the nexus point. My favorite is telecom and media, where operational efficiency is sought while consumer experience is being driven together.
I didn't hear you talk about products. So does that fit into your strategy? Like companies that focus, the product leaders?
We truly believe that enterprises across verticals are trying to define what's their product and what's the platform on which they're delivering this product to their customers. And so customers and enterprises are increasingly thinking of themselves as not IT enabled, but platform enabled enterprises. And in that is where I think even the decision around what's their priority, is it the consumer experience or is it the business efficiency or is it both, but with one as a primary objective is where we're seeing the strategy.
What is HCL's sort of role in sort of helping their clients achieve success in the digital world?
We had a very interesting journey of our own, and from where we come from, we originally started, as you would know, as a product and platform engineering firm, helping product companies, technology product companies, and vertical product companies build their own products and driving technology into those products through embedded software, embedded hardware, and things like that. And then we actually started catering to the enterprise, working with CIOs in enabling IT transformations over the last 10 years. And now both these vectors are merging. We're seeing CIOs wanting to drive more product and platform transitions.
Yes.
And we're seeing IT strategies being driven by convergence of devices, data, and platforms. And I think in that journey, we become a very unique partner to a lot of enterprises. So the way we see ourselves today is helping CIOs, CDOs, CEOs look at digital enablement through the 360-degree view. One is, what are the devices that they are integrating from their business into the digital transformation? What are the experiences that they're delivering both internally and externally through platforms that deliver their business? As you rightly said, it's not just the product that they're delivering experiences and lifetime engagements with their customers. And the third is, what is the data that is available in their enterprise and outside of the enterprise? How are they looking at that data, ingesting that data, and analyzing that data to innovate constantly? On all these three layers is where our services come into play, and that's where we engage.
What is your, for lack of a better word, service stack when it comes to sort of how can you help a client make this transformation? Like what's your set of service offerings?
It's interesting. Over the last year and a half, we've been studying digital transformations. It's said today that about 19 to 21% of technology spend in enterprises is focused around digital transformations. And when we looked at how the spend is happening, it's for every $10 that is being spent on transition strategy, $90 is spent on actually implementation of that strategy. And far too many partners and vendors and consultants are focusing on the strategic aspect of digital transformation and not the execution, which is far more complex, especially in the enterprises that you and me really care about, which is large traditional enterprises who already have large investments in processes, people, organizations, and technology. And that's where the transformation execution almost becomes a lot more important, and that's where we focus on. So our service stack, if you see, it's really, we do engage on the process transformation and business transformation level. Really, how do you adopt that in the current enterprise context and transform the landscape of IT infrastructure, application topologies, and then data infrastructures in the enterprise without really ripping and replacing everything that they have. That's really the key. So we believe, we've done kind of an assessment of our existing customer base and the market at large. And we believe, as you rightly said, that there has to be a clarity of roadmap, clarity of strategy, and clarity of architecture in how what we call digital technology foundations across the enterprise are being implemented. The good news right now is a lot of the new technologies that are available where you don't have to build them, you can consume them, are available so that you can orchestrate them, are available so that you can make calls either to the cloud or to AI platforms and not have to rewrite lines of code to replicate that technology. So I think the way modern stacks are being played allows us to really think and deploy digital technology frameworks in enterprises quickly, faster, at more cost effectively. I think the real focus is on, is there a strategy? Does the enterprise understand modern stacks? And how do we implement those modern stacks linearly across the enterprise? That's where we focus.
Like, where do you see the biggest challenge for these companies?
I think it's in all areas. So number one is the acknowledgement. I think the acknowledgement has come that everybody wants to disrupt themselves digitally. They don't have a choice.
Right.
Again, we talked about it all day today.
And 2 years ago, that was not the case.
That wasn't the case. I think everybody is understanding that they don't have a choice. They have to get on the digital bandwagon. I think the challenges are in, number one, clarity of strategy. I talked about it earlier. Have they defined for themselves, irrespective of the industry that they are in, what is their journey going to be defined by? Experiences versus operational efficiencies.
Yes.
Second is looking at the linearity. Sometimes organizations claim that they have got digital success, but it could be in pockets and not across. And how do they look at bringing that linearity? And the third is really working with the right partnerships and ecosystems. You cannot transform digitally alone. You have to look at ecosystems of partners, ecosystems of technology delivery folks in OEMs, and systems integrators, and how do you bring that ecosystem together to play? So I think all those three things are what enterprises should reconsider in their new strategies. And as you rightly said, I think the strategy of organizations today has to have an element of technology transformation at the core. It has to be embedded part of the business strategy. And that's where we come in. That's what makes it exciting for us.